Welcome to the Quiet Exit podcast, where UK business owners find clarity, confidence, and calm as they think about stepping back. No noise, no pressure, just the next chapter done right.
Welcome to the Quiet Exit podcast. I'm McConachie, and if you're here, likely a business owner in the UK who's built something meaningful, and you've started wondering, quietly, what's next. Maybe you're not in a rush. Maybe you haven't told anyone yet. Maybe the idea of selling feels too loud, too final. But something in you is shifting, and that's what this space is for. Today we're talking about that early urge, when you start feeling like you might want to step back, but you're not quite sure what that looks like. This is a calm space to think things through. No noise, no pressure, no brokers. Just real conversations for thoughtful owners thinking ahead. If you ever want a gentle way to explore these ideas further, you'll find a few tools over at epitomycapital.co.uk/quiet-exit-club. But for now, let's just sit with the feeling. You're listening to the Quiet Exit podcast for UK owners thinking ahead quietly. There's a moment many owners experience, and they often don't talk about it at first. It's not dramatic. It's not about burnout. It's something more subtle. Maybe you start noticing you're just not as driven by the day-to-day. You care, but it's different. The spark's not there. You don't rush to open emails in the morning. You feel a bit more tired after each week. You might chalk it up to age, or the market, or the team needing to step up. But underneath it all, there's a quiet question forming. Do I still want to be the one doing this? It's a hard question to admit out loud, even to yourself. Especially if you're proud of what you've built. Especially if it's profitable. Especially if it's part of who you are. One owner I spoke to, let's call him Alan, ran a logistics business for nearly 30 years. He told me, "Stephen, I still enjoy parts of it, but I'm spending more time daydreaming about not being in it, and that's new." He hadn't spoken to his family about it yet. He hadn't told his accountant, but he knew something inside had shifted. That's the moment we're talking about today, the early, quiet knowing. If you're feeling something similar, you're not alone. As someone who buys businesses directly, not a broker, not a middleman, I've had a lot of quiet conversations with owners like Alan. One of the biggest myths I hear is, you need to have it all figured out before talking to someone, and that's simply not true. From my side, we're not looking for perfect. We're not expecting an exit strategy and a binder with tabs. What we are looking for is alignment of values, timing, and people. Some owners say, but the business isn't at its peak anymore, or it's not growing fast like it used to. That's okay. Often, a good exit happens not at the peak, but at the point of peace, when the owner is ready to hand over and the buyer is ready to carry it forward with care. It's not about maximising the price at all costs. It's about honouring what's been built and finding the right next chapter for everyone involved. That's why we created the Quiet Exit Club, to help owners explore these ideas before they feel pressured to do something. Because you don't have to announce anything, you don't need a press release, you just need space, and maybe one honest conversation to begin. Let me tell you about someone else I met. We'll call her Louise. Louise ran a successful manufacturing business in the north of England. 22 staff, good reputation, nice, steady margins. When we first spoke, she was crystal clear. I'm not ready to sell. I just want to understand my options. We talked quietly over a few months, no pressure, no offers. What became clear was this. Louise wasn't burnt out, but she was emotionally done. She cared deeply about her team. She wanted the culture to survive. She didn't want a flashy exit, she just wanted the right person to take over. Eventually she told me, I thought I'd know when I was ready, but I've realised it's more about trusting when it feels quietly right. In the end, she sold quietly. No public listing, no shop window, just a respectful handover at her pace. And what stood out to me wasn't the deal. It was the calm on her face when we met for coffee 6 months later. She said, I didn't expect to feel relief and pride, but I do. That's the power of exiting quietly. Not because you had to, but because it was time. Let's end with something practical, but still gentle. If you're feeling that quiet shift, not quite ready, not quite done, here's a simple mindset exercise. The 3 journal prompts I share most often. What parts of my business still energise me? Not the ones you're best at, the ones that lift you. If I could hand it over to someone tomorrow, what would I need to know about them? This helps clarify what matters most: culture, stability, and values. What am I afraid would happen if I stepped back? Fear is often a useful flashlight. Don't judge your answer, just write it. You don't need to make a decision this week, but you do deserve to understand what's really going on underneath that quiet itch. Because the goal isn't to exit fast, the goal is to exit well, if and when the time is right. Thank you for being here, truly. It takes courage to even think about the next chapter, and even more to explore it quietly. If anything from today's episode resonated, you might find it helpful to take our Walkaway Readiness scorecard. It's a free 5-minute self-assessment, no forms, no noise, at epitomecapital.co.uk/quiet-exit-club. Or maybe this episode is enough for today. That's okay too. We'll be here week by week with stories, insights, and quiet encouragement whenever you feel like tuning in again. If you'd like to follow the podcast, feel free to, quietly, no pressure. Until next time, take care, and thank you for listening to the Quiet Exit podcast.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Quiet Exit. If you're quietly thinking about your next chapter, you're not alone, and you don't have to figure it out publicly. For more resources, private insights, or to learn how we support legacy-first exits, visit epitomecapital.co.uk/quiet-exit-club. Until next time, stay clear, stay calm, and keep moving quietly.